Join us for an enlightening experience where you will gain a deeper understanding of the purpose and essence of opening your eyes. This is your chance to enhance self-awareness and personal growth with a shift in perception that provides a fresh outlook on life. Embrace the journey from consciousness to superconsciousness. Coming live by Barrett Kunyan.
Well, here we are once again, and we have lovely Olivia in our studio today. Olivia, nice to have you back. And I just want to say that our topic, our subject today is the embodying the virtues of spiritual integrity. How have you been keeping? It's been a while since we last connected. And you're looking ravishing as ever, if I may say so.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching the Activator. It's lovely to have all of you with us. It's been a while, I think like 3 months since we had our first meeting. Yes. A lot has been going on over this time, but I think that for all of us, it's been a very enjoyable and intense experience, as there are a lot of changes going on for our planet as a collective right now, so we are all feeling this. And the topic is the virtues indeed, but we are also going to mention quite a few other topics that I think other people will be also able to relate to, fit in with their current way of feeling, way of their lives. So let's begin, right?
Absolutely. So let's start with the energies. And has something extraordinary happened in the last couple of hours or day or so in your beautiful circle? Would you like to share anything that something extraordinary is taking place in your company?
So I think that it would be the best if we mention the current circumstances we are at, because maybe I will get back to the beginning of August, where we've got something called the Foy wave on the 8th of August, 8/8. It's the flames of Urea wave. And this is like a very, very high frequency wave that is coming to our planet and is clearing any sorts of metatronic distortions that have invaded this planet for a very long time. So this wave is bringing very huge healing to this planet. On a personal level, I felt that very, very intensely, with my body being exhausted a lot, to be honest. So if some of you have been feeling that a lot, and also this weather that we are having in many areas, this intense heat, it's also related to the frequencies that actually I was sometimes seeing with my inner vision that these heavy energies, which are mainly underground, they were literally vaporizing. So we had some amazing uploads of frequencies actually. And also what I would like to mention is that this date 8/8 was very important because we are receiving something called the spark of the Ark of the Covenant. Because right now we are being reconnected to our Ark of the Covenant, to the sphere of Amenti. And this is actually the race morphogenetic field. We have been given this wonderful opportunity, and I'm saying this behalf on me and my wonderful guardians, that we are going to receive 3 different sparks. The last one was in June, the second one was in August, and the third one will be in November, if I remember correctly. And these sparks are synchronizing us even more with this planet and will progressively allow us to reach the stargates. And that's a step to move even higher, right? To eventually leave this dimension and move, you could say, to a better version of this planet, which is actually in the future. Because if we look at this time in terms of simultaneous time cycles, we are actually seeing that if we are moving to higher dimensions, this is actually the future, because the time passing by, it's actually also a process of frequency accretion. So your past is your lower frequency, your future is your higher frequency. That's how we are evolving actually. This is evolving through time. Coming back to the topic, on the 12th of August 12th was the Hitalon, which is the magnetic peak. If we have the Merkaba fields of this planet, there are different peaks throughout the year. And this year's Merkaba fields, actually, they were spinning the quickest since the last 20 years. We had like a 20-year cycle, actually a 40-year. So this was an incredibly powerful magnetic peak. I felt like, because that's also affecting our personal Merkabas, we have to remember that we are connected to the planet, but also we are experiencing it on the personal level. So you also had your personal Hitalon, right? So I was actually, on that day, I went out for a walk, and that was like a 4-hour-long walking to the top of the mountain in my area, because I live on the south of Poland in Beskid Mountains. And I've been doing grid work there. Very powerful solar frequencies have been coming through my body as I was walking, and I was anchoring them in the grids. So there's been very powerful activations done thanks to that Hitalon. And from what I know, all kinds of operations that were supposed to happen and not necessarily benefit us, they didn't manage to succeed. So I would actually say that I'm coming here and bringing good news that we are going towards an amazing direction, going along with the crystal spiral towards the split, which will happen in November.
That's amazing. Do you feel that people in general, they need to raise their game, or do you feel that, when we're talking about integrity as well, do you feel that to get more aligned with the earth frequencies and the changes, I take it people need to be in their authenticity, their highest, and hold that pure, kind intention everywhere they go, right? To leave that stamp, that impression, the intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to do this together, because right now is the only way. Because actually, why is it so important to to go along with the frequency of love, of kindness? People might be wondering, okay, but how come is it related? It's actually related strictly to the universal physics, because all of these attitudes, responsibilities of spiritual integrity, these are basically the concepts that our mental body could use to choose, to discern, to look at, to feel these frequencies. And they could consider them, okay, if I start to embody these virtues, how would it change my life? How would it make an impact? And these can actually be perceived as positive filters that we can consciously choose, instead of those that are programmed in this traditional world. Because even when we go back to religion, there could be a lot said about each of the religions, but mostly they say, be good to others, don't do harm to others, with some different exceptions. But let's look at maybe at the Christianity, which says help those who are in the need, right? That's very simple. And when we look at this, that is actually something that we truly need to embody right now. Especially that if we realize something, that each thought, each belief, these are actually, the ideas become things. The ideas basically, they change into imprints of electromagnetic sound and light frequency when they are in our bodies. Because people wonder, okay, how can I manifest something? That's how it's happening. You are what you attract. You attract frequency waves. So once they go through your body, they start to affect you and your template. So if you are kind, you are bringing in the frequency of kindness, and you will receive it back from others as well. So this is actually how this universe is working. We are everything that we attract. And if our beliefs are not fully aligned with the divine blueprint, which creates peace and harmony, because the pure intention of the source, of one source that we all come from, it was to create peace and harmony, to create a loving space of existence where the source, The source is a collective. I come from it, you come from the same source as me. We came here to experience, we came here to explore. The source was incredibly perfect, it was incredibly eternal. You cannot even describe it with words, with proper words. But it has decided to be even better, you could say. That's why it started to individuate itself. It started to create. And if our beliefs are not fully aligned with this divine blueprint, it will literally start creating blockages in our bioenergetic fields, and they block the ability of higher levels to integrate. And now we can look at it this way, that if our choices, if our decisions are aligned with this divine blueprint, if we embody the love, the harmony, the kindness, we are the most powerful because we embody all these higher levels. But if there are some fractions on this planet which decided to kind of cheat and go against this divine blueprint, they could reach very, very high, but to a certain level of frequency. That's why embodying the virtues is actually a significant part of our ascension process.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I feel that also, to add to that, is the ultimate gift is the direction in which we ourselves, when we're anchored and we're centered and we're being kind and making people smile and laughter and stuff, working with the tools that will help raise the vibration. And fundamentally, it is us. Where do you stand with the word telepathic? Do you feel that more and more of us are becoming that way orientated in reading the patterns and the thoughts and the frequencies without too many words, but in terms of our actions, how we make our statements, the way we walk, and the tones in which we bring
and you know that it's not even about our actions, it's beyond it.
Okay.
I'm going to explain it to you this way, and this is the part in which the words are indeed difficult to find to explain it properly. So maybe I will say it this way, because we've got 3 different creation domains. We've got the Panacoleira, which is the eternal creation domain, the Panacoleta, the internal creation domain, that's where the plasmas come from, and the Panclera, the external creation domain. And the Panclera, if you look at this word, you've got the clair, and you've got the clairaudience, the clairvoyance. And actually, we have been experiencing something since 2015, the Panclera awakening. And that also means that the clair abilities are being awakened. So it's the clairvoyance, clairaudience, also touching, even feeling, it's everything. Each one of our senses is being expanded to see beyond this 3D hologram, because the reason why we see only what is in front of our eyes is because we are vector locked. That means you are only picking up these frequency waves, but you're not able to go beyond. But I have already experienced one case in my sessions where someone's energetic body already moved to the deity planes, which are the internal creation spectra. That's what we are doing. We are connecting with our plasma bodies, which are the internal creation. And that is actually also helping us to perceive more. But why did I say it's not about the actions? Yes, at first it's about the actions, not about the person itself. We cannot take other people personally. We don't judge them by their words, we judge them, or more like we feel their frequency by their actions. But right now, it's about even more. It's about seeing who is really hiding behind the mask. Because we can say it this way, and it's also like people wonder about this, that there are some people who will give a lot of money to the charity. But for example, they will only do it for fame. Is that Christic? Not really. if they do it only to get attention and be like, oh, look, I'm so rich. Oh, look, I'm helping others. If they don't do it from the pure intention of their hearts, that's something completely different. But indeed, most of us are right now having these higher senses awakened. And why is that? That's actually because we are learning on our mistakes. Lately, I've been experiencing a lot of people coming to me on my healing sessions. And actually, they were like, help me, because I've been with so many healers that did me a lot of harm. And so I ended up assisting them with the plasma frequencies, and they have been much better, much more integrated, because that's what the plasmas are doing. But I have been experiencing a lot of people realizing that was a mistake because I didn't discern. But we are learning this mostly through our personal experiences. And that's how this process is going. So it's more than actions. It's actually about discerning about the intention. The guardians say it's about the intention. It's about realizing that except for this physical vessel that we have, we also have our higher bodies. And these higher bodies could also be really, really distorted. And through these higher bodies, we could be manipulated from this level. And imagine this situation. How are you going to discern? That's the thing. We need to, in order to be able to discern who is who and what is what, we need to be very, very clean and pure inside. That's how we will be able to feel. You could say through your heart or see through your pineal. It doesn't matter, but it's about the pureness that you have deeply inside yourself. That means that you did already the healing on yourself.
That's very, very powerful. Yeah. And naturally doing without a particular reward, because like you said, that people generally do it because they are like profiteers. You know, they feel that they need to gain something out of it. Whereas the intention is, for me personally, to feel the pain of somebody. Generally, it's to do with which direction they need to be going, and to have some kind of navigation system, tools to understand, the journey that's awaiting, shall we say. You also, I mean, I don't want to get too excited with words. It's hard not to when you use words like stargates and things like that. I mean, maybe now or later, I'm sure you're going to elaborate more on those sort of areas as well. Are they like a door that just literally opens up and you just enter into another dimension as such, and what happens to this level of dimension? Does it still continue, or do you feel that something?
So maybe I will just say this, and then we'll move into the virtues, because I feel like that's the direction that I'm supposed to follow today, and I'm going to listen to that. But okay, so maybe I will just kind of calm some people down. We won't be having any kind of apocalypse. We will be following a peaceful a peaceful pathway. Because this planet, it's like this is the third seeding of this human race, and we are going to ascend in 900 years period. This planet, because thanks to something called the Urada force and the Ura Lake Conservatory, we are able to make our passage through. Thanks to it, it's called the short way home, because it's only 900 years period. Normally it would last billions of years, but we have the host, and this host, you could imagine it, I'm always seeing it in my visions as like you've got this planet and some pink hands are holding it, because these pink hands are like protectors. They are not going to let in any other disharmonic frequency anymore, and these hands are holding this planet, and these hands will be holding this planet for 900 more years. And through this period, we can make our way through. And it doesn't matter what's going to happen in this hologram. it doesn't matter because we have our own power, and either starting from about 2027 we'll be able to start making our atomic transfiguration, turning our atoms into not even light but actually plasma right now, because we'll be merging with our plasma bodies, and we'll be vector free. That means we'll be able to travel through the stargates. And to answer your question, I think that some people will be able to perceive them, but that's what this timeline split is going to look like, that two people will be standing next to each other, and one will be like, wow, look at that, I see the gates there, but the other one will be like, I see nothing completely. That's how this split is going to look like. So those who will raise their frequencies high enough will soon be able to go through the gates, and there will be no matter what's going to happen with the governments, with the financial system, we shouldn't really care about that anymore, because we have the power in our own hands. Many people have been going over, especially over the past 3-4 years, into like a hermit mode. That's because they needed to find themselves, and they totally separated from the rest of civilization, and they are like, I'm amazing, I'm better than I have ever been before. So no matter what is going to happen here, but I don't predict any kind of a disaster. I don't know what people are coming with. This is also causing fear. We cannot give our energy away to being like, there's going to be an apocalypse. Well, I don't feel like it. At least personally, everyone will discern for themselves. But we'll make our passage through, those who will be ready for it. And then we'll be assisting others who will also like to choose that pathway. So it's an amazing process that we are all taking part in. So I hope that answers your question.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And you said about the third seeding. That's very interesting as well. And I was going to say, do you feel that there has been some disasters before on the planet in terms of?
Many. I mean, that's how the previous two seedings were destroyed. For example, the first seeding was destroyed during something called the Electric Wars, where literally these were like the wars of pure energy. That's what these beings from dimension 10 and 11, they were trying to take over our planet. They were attacking us with ships. Everything got destroyed. Every single human died because of these energies. But that was an attack. It's not like it was a natural disaster. And later we had many floods, we had many natural disasters, but that was caused by the destruction of the planetary shields. What happened 5 million years ago? That's when these electric wars took place. This was actually still affecting, and is still affecting, our grids until today. Because that's when we started to have problems with embodying the D12 frequency of dimension 12, the Christ dimension. But right now it's even beyond that, because the plasmas created the light. So right now we are working with even a higher frequency spectra, because the Maharata frequency, the frequency of the Christ consciousness, is not enough anymore. So yeah, there's been many disasters, mainly caused by different kind of infiltrations from different races. But this has never been a natural disaster, actually.
Thank you for that. And when you use the word death, if I can just expand on that, in your own interpretation, what exactly happens with death? Because if somebody's projecting an image, I guess that individual stops projecting. Is that how it works?
Death is actually the inorganic state of our physical bodies. It's not natural. It's not normal. During the first seeding, we were actually eternal. Our bodies were eternal, not infinite, because the difference is that the infinite being has to feed off someone's energy, otherwise it will become finite. the eternal being keeps getting the energy from the source, and that's what we were like. And then during the second seeding, we had to clear the mutations that started happening. We started breeding with many different interdimensional races, and it started to destroy our template massively. And that's actually during the second seeding, that's when the disease started to happen. That this is inorganic state of our body as well. I will tell you something interesting, because I would like to share that in context of the fact that soon we will be going into autumn, and all of these flus, different things like that. I was told by my guardians lately that the most important thing is not killing the fever. Of course, what I'm saying is not meant to treat, cure, or diagnose any illness, but this is just my personal perspective, that killing the fever is the worst thing you could do, because it's not just the reaction of your immune system, but when we are raising the temperature of our body, we are allowing more high frequency currents for our body to go through. I will tell you something. Last year in October, I think, my brother got a small cold. He just had a sore throat, and I did a bit of the healing on him. I opened all the frequency conduits. He got a fever after my session, but then he slept for like 16 hours. He got up and he was a newborn, like a newborn.
Wow.
Because the fever is supposed to raise our frequencies, and yes, we feel extremely weak because our physical bodies are not used to this frequency, but it's supposed to kill off anything which has a lower frequency, so bacteria and viruses, of course. And during the second seeding, actually, if any human started to have an illness, the temperature would go to about 44 degrees of Celsius. They would be like this for about, the guardians were saying, about 2 to 12 hours. And then they were sleeping for about 12 and then waking up and they were amazing again. So that's how our immune system used to work. And this is incredible. Right now we cannot have such high temperature, right? But up to 40, that's completely fine. We have to let our bodies manage by themselves. So just wanted to share that thing.
Yeah, nice. It's beautiful. Yeah. I take it, if we can just touch on a little bit about aging. My understanding is if we are against the natural law of order of things, so in other words, when you become more anchored being organic rather than inorganic, like with reference to connecting to the Earth's energy and picking up the cosmic energy rather than this synthetic Wi-Fi stuff, which is great help. It's a powerful tool, hence we are here today. But this is a process of it as we evolve. Do you feel that in terms of technology as such, do you feel at some stage when we open up these stargates and we're going to need less of the computers and stuff like that? We will be.
I'm afraid that with these levels of frequency, all of these laptops are going to burn.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because I'm seeing things with my own eyes. I mean, even my beautiful son today. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he's so adorable. He's such a beautiful soul that it's something he doesn't do very often. Just as well, we would have gone through quite a few vacuum cleaners. With my own eyes, the vacuum cleaner melted. I've never seen anything like it. And so have you been having some strange
phenomena? Just yesterday my laptop burned and my phone stopped recognizing my SIM card.
So this is
totally lost its mind. Yes, yeah. And when my friend came here over, she couldn't charge her laptop. It also lost its mind. So yes, if there are any kind of weird things happening to our technological devices, that's because of the frequencies. And yes, they make us what I've been picking up, because actually I've been experiencing many people coming to me on my healing sessions. You could even catch parasites through the 5G. These towers, they are everywhere right now in the world. And what they do is they spread this red pulse frequency, which is a very, very low frequency that is causing our blood cells to basically shake in an inorganic rhythm. They stop vibrating in a crystic ratio and they actually start to turn metatronic. Tons of implants also are given to people through food and different sorts of things like that. So yeah, it's very intense when it comes to the technological attacks. I would even dare to say that the storms that I've been experiencing lately, they were very artificial, because actually what is with the storms, that's a big thing. If you kind of tuned in and saw that the storms used to be a lot different a few years back, now the noises are different, and even I used to just relax and like the window was open and I would watch, and just the flashes of light, just the lightnings, no noises. So actually there are different types of storms. Some of them are actually just electromagnetic radiation that is spreading to the planet, and then we could wake up and be totally exhausted. The second thing is that actually there are spaceships hidden in the storms, and that's why the noise of the storm is the spaceship. Or well, the rains are also acidic. So there is a lot when it comes to the latest natural, not natural disasters that have been happening on this planet. And it really has nothing to do with, I mean, it has a little bit to do with the changes of the energy on the planet, but it's mostly artificial, actually.
Thank you for that. I mean, can our consciousness neutralize and alter that? You know, being more immune, more accustomed to the present moment, as we all say, you know, to be in that point of being centered. So being conscious of what's real and what's not real. So you're balancing it. And for me personally, if I may quickly throw that in, it's not about condemning. The temptation is there, anger. You know, it's like they're trying to destroy me, and an element of fear can creep in and torment and throw you off balance. And for me to stay neutral is even if there's an attack, which there seems to be, you neutralize it by not buying into it too much, as real as it may look. Because when we use the word synthetic, what exactly are we saying? It's not. I mean, it's real, but it's
But it hasn't been created by nature, you could say.
Okay, all right. Who do you think? Well, I mean, who's actually? What kind of beings are sort of like manipulating? And are there many variation of different types of beings?
Yes. Right now we are facing a lot of aggression from the Borgia collective, the spider people. They are very, very aggressive, and they are attacking a lot. And actually, I would like to kind of come back to what you said a moment ago about these mental things that are trying to be put into our heads. Well, I actually had a story. At first, it might seem funny that I'm having a session with someone who I used to have a session with before. It was like a couple, and I'm asking, okay, what do you need my help with today? And his wife is saying, well, he keeps accusing me that I'm cheating on him. Well, it might seem funny at first. How come is it related energetically? But actually, the whole mental body layer was absolutely implanted. They were channeling. That's another thing. The channeling, whoever is doing that, please stop, because it's making the entity go into your body, merge with the frequencies of your DNA template, and slowly infiltrate your body. Anyways, that's what was happening to him. So we needed to cut off that cord from the mental body. So right now, it's like we are trying our best to secure our energetic field, right? Set different kinds of protections, and the plasma frequencies are the best way for that right now. But the way they could get to you, if your energetic field is strong enough, they will try to do it either through the emotional or the mental body. And that's what is happening to many people, that their minds are getting easily deceived, easily controlled, because they are trying to basically go into their insecurities, something called the shadow, actually, that I would like to talk about a little bit. Because basically our physical, emotional, and our mental bodies, they are under the influence of of the shadow. The shadow, basically the energies of the shadow, are like the hidden subconscious forces, and they create in us like desires, reactions, thoughts, feelings that often actually stand in opposition to the creations that we would like to manifest. And so the way, like the quick, very practical way to do it, I will tell that to people because maybe they will find it helpful. It's basically catching the moment. You catch the negative thought, you catch the negative emotion, because we filter this through our hearts. If we realize that, okay, well, this thought doesn't belong to me, then why is it in my mind? You catch it, you grab it. You need to reclaim that chaotic energy. You use your power of this affirmative and conscious direction of energy, what you mentioned, our consciousness. We can direct it when it comes to the weather, when it comes to our feelings, when it comes to our health. And we direct these opposing energies. We basically transmute them into positive ones. And we fill our space with spiritually mature creations. So, first thing is we don't allow these thoughts to go too far. We are like, we're not letting it go inside. We're just keeping it here, and we push that away. We have transmutation codes in our DNA. So we need to use them. We need to learn that the whole machine is our physical bodies. All of it. It's all in us. We don't need to use pendulums, tarot cards, whatever. We just use our own power. Because there's been many debates like about going into other people's records, channeling, reading the Akashic records. That's all nonsense. That you can do it this way, and maybe sometimes you will get the truth, or maybe a part of the truth. But you don't know. The way that the information should be received is through something called the kilontic data transmission, where the information is the frequency wave. And your brain, as your pineal gland is expanding, you're opening yourself for more and more frequency waves. And this frequency wave, you can compare it to like a file that your brain needs to download. So you tune in for a moment, you get that wave. It could be a vision, a feeling, a message. And that's how you're getting the information. The informations are coming to you. You don't search for information. They come to your system, to your vessel.
No, that's very, very powerful. I mean, how I do it is more or less what you said, but not, you've said it really well there. I need to, well, I'm kind of excited because when you're surrounded by people like yourself, and you know, I'm very, very blessed to be attracting beautiful beings of light. So I'm representing a very powerful energy. So when I go places, I feel I'm not alone. I feel the energy with me. And you talked about guides. Can we just talk a little bit about guides, if I may quickly? Is on average, I take everybody has guides, right?
Yes.
Numbers could be 1, can be 5,
it can be 1, it can be 5, it can be 20. It's actually also related to your soul purpose.
Right.
Because you are never alone. You have your soul, and your soul could be also your guide, actually, because it's like a higher version of yourself. But my guardians always, it's kind of this feeling that they are actually me. It's like me from the future.
Okay.
They are all versions of us from the future. So they have been through this path. That's why they want us to help, to also get on this path along with them.
So
Yes, every one of us has the spiritual guides. And it's depending on our soul purpose, what kind of guides we need and how many as well.
So it's important to acknowledge, I guess, isn't it? I mean, ask a stupid question, but guides being around, would you say? And I think the answer is yes. Do you feel that it's important to connect, not just intuitively, but being very receptive, open, and almost like having a conversation, similar to what we're having right?
Yes, exactly. I agree with that.
You're talking to yourself, kind of, almost, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I wanted to say, actually, because at first I was like, I'm talking to the voices in my head. That's cool. Okay. I guess I'm not crazy yet. But yes, it's actually, you could also compare it to connecting with your interstellar family, because your guides are actually your family. So it's like many of us want to have connections with our family here, if we also resonate with their frequency. So we also want to connect with our galactic interstellar family, and that's what actually our guides are. So yeah, they could be really good friends, and you never feel alone with them. You could always talk to them whenever you feel the need, and they will never judge. They will never actually tell you what to do. They could tell you, okay, this is the best thing you can do for yourself, but you make the choice.
So you could be pretty specific in your assignment in terms of asking, like, I'm in an awkward situation right now, and I'm not sure whether I should turn left or I should turn right. And then you feel the empowerment where you're guided more to the right. Where are you with because within the spiritual communities there is a lot of talk about the left side being the negative side and the right side being the positive. I mean, that's pretty much gospel, right?
Yes, but the thing is, just to clear that out, none of the sides is bad.
Yeah.
It's just the left side is more Metatronic than the right side.
Okay.
Like in the divine blueprint, the right side is electric, the left side is magnetic. That still works in our bodies. We've got the electromagnetic balance, right? And the central vertical current is like electromagnetic, you could say.
So you gotta hold your excitement, because I'm really excited. I mean, I'm really happy, and that's the kind of place you need to be, because that's ultimately raising the game, the frequency, where without having to say loads of jokes and
exactly. It's about the frequency flow. It's like we just jump from one topic to another, but you're really asking the right questions, because I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Yes, usually I'm discovering the distortions on the left side because of something called the Jehovian seals. The Jehovian seals. There are like 7 Jehovian seals in the body, and what they cause is that they turn off some of the parts, some of the codes in our DNA template, and some of them are still on, and this is looking like a checkboard. So this is causing something called the checkboard mutation. So it's distorting the flow of energy, like in the whole body, not just on the left side, but of course, since it's on the left side, in the heart, in the left lung, on the top of the head, on the left side, on the left hip, many places like that. The left side is distorted. When I'm removing these Jehovian seals on my sessions, I'm removing that on almost every session, Barrett. It's crazy how many people actually have these seals. It's changing the frequency flow. When I'm removing them, I usually get to the third one, and the flow already starts to change. And the people, there are quite a few people who actually felt that shifting, the energy shifts. Or like there's this really heavy seal that people often have issues with their neck. That's because the Jehovian seal is on the left side of the neck, actually the two of them, number 3 and 7, if I remember correctly. Sorry, number 4 and 7. The third one is in the pineal gland. But number 6 is actually on the back of the head, where the skull is connecting to the neck. This area is causing a lot of trouble to many people. Mm-hmm. And removing these seals is often causing like this sense of the comfort, because we've got the Kundalini. It needs to flow up to your crown, and here it gets stuck. And this stuck energy is the one that is causing the pain. So this is all related to the nervous structure, but actually it's about fixing this energetics. So yeah, there are many problems with the left side. Also, you know, coming back to when we were talking about the 5G frequency. Yeah. Actually, people get a lot affected with the heart. Uh-huh. The meridian lines being destroyed. So that's why also fixing that is helping a lot. Yeah. So that's why the left side is more problematic, mainly because of these seals and the fact that it's more metatronic.
Yeah. Yeah, Olivia, I mean, the thing is like when you say you're fixing it, I mean, are there many like yourself out there who has this ability, or do you feel that you are part of many reasons why you are here is to help activate more to be with this alignment in, you know, having this ability to neutralize and harmonize? But do you feel also that part of the process of your presence is to harness to activate and so that more and more people are having these beautiful abilities to do this?
It's about I mentioned here is to help people on the individual level, but it's also to spread the consciousness of this, because I'm not gonna say I'm the only person who's healing with plasmas, because I don't know that. The difference between the healing I'm doing is that I'm not using any kind of light frequencies. I'm not doing a Reiki. I'm transmitting the universal plasmas to your system. My body is like a frequency pillar. And since my template is clear, the frequency is just going like this, directly through my body. And to your field. I know one more person who's removing the Jehovian seals as well. She's doing that through the dream state, if I remember correctly. So yes, there are also other people who are doing this kind of stuff. I'm doing it with my own method, and you know, I cannot speak for other people. I know because I saw with one person that she can also do this, remove the seals. About other people, I'm not going to tell. You know, there are a lot of infected healers out there. Yes, I've been working a lot lately, as I said, with people who suffered from this, from channelers, from Reiki practitioners.
So they're doing more harm. Yeah, they're doing more harm than good.
Yes.
Yeah. So
they cause severe side effects. Mm-hmm.
So because there are, you know, frequent. I mean, there are many people playing with frequency devices. What advice can you give people? Should they be doing? I mean, it's a very direct question. I mean, there are many devices out there. People are using to heal their bodies or to neutralize or, you know, to remove certain things. How does that sit with you in your interpretation? I mean, you've more or less said it. I mean,
okay, I will ask you a question for a question. We were just talking about the finding the power in ourselves. So do we need a device to find the power in ourselves?
Funny enough, because one of several reasons why, by the way, this platform is a guardianship. It belongs to to humanity. It's I set this up for you like we're doing now, and it's open source, and the ultimate is this biological computer, basically. The problem we've been engaged with, and you've highlighted this really well today as well, is the blockages, whether it's emotional, mental. So once you sit comfortably and everything is flowing through you, I feel that is the ultimate. I don't think that there is a better way of helping others.
You called this platform a bioactivator because it's supposed to do what, from what I understood so far and what I felt, bioactivations in your body.
Yes.
It's an organic activator, right?
Yes.
So at this point, I will just say that I was in a very bad stage with my mental, emotional, physical condition when I started to work with the plasma meditations from Iyesha Ashayana Din. These are called the Tantri Ahura teachings. And they have helped me a lot, massively. Each projection was like an experience where I was discovering myself, where I was understanding where is certain distortion coming from.
Yeah.
So yes, it's been very, very powerful. And I will just say that I was on one of the frequency devices, and I'm not going to say my full experience. I will just say that my thought after the session was like, well, my meditations felt more powerful because I was relying on myself and on discovering how can I do it myself? Because it feels the most satisfying when you do it yourself. On my sessions, I'm only removing these blockages that everyone has in their anatomy. And then I tell people, like, you should do this, you should do that, and this can help you ascend, heal. But I'm not activating your potential because you have to activate your potential. I'm only removing what is standing on the way of you wanting to reach that potential. So that's a major difference. There are many healers also promising, like, I will activate 12 of your DNA strands. I will activate whatever the third eye, I don't know. But you have to do it on your own. This is your own self-power that you're having. So that's my approach to that.
That's phenomenal. And myself as well with this active, what we call the bioactivator as well. It's bringing people to a place where they feel safe, and they feel that we're not trying to do anything to harm them in any shape or form. So once people feel that they are safe, they are more open and not to be attacked in any possible way, And so I'm really excited. So, with the possibility of this particular platform, we could reach out to a lot of people where they just come in and really connect to themselves through some form of guided meditation as well. Because because a lot of people tend to lose themselves with words, because it creates a lot of division and these labels.
I wanted to say a little bit about the words, because that's where we are kind of heading to when we are also talking about the gifts. Because also we say things like words like kindness, gratitude, love, but also hatred, and all of that. This is also like the shift in frequency. So basically, the words, they are energy signatures. They are the carriers of frequency. So when we say certain words, we bring their frequency to our template. That's why it's very, very important to say to be actually careful with what we are saying. Because if we curse someone, this is coming back to us. Yes, this will cause harm in others, but it will come back to us as well. Because if we send some energy into space, we receive the same energy back. So basically, all these frequencies, they are in our templates. The frequencies of these attitudes, responsibilities, the virtues, they are actually a part of our plasma template. And they are incredibly precise mathematical configurations through which these frequencies are flowing through our template. This is all encoded. And now, because I remember that on our first conversation, we mentioned only a little bit about the people referred to as the psychopaths, things like that. So basically, if a certain individual doesn't carry a frequency in their template of a certain virtue or attitude of spiritual integrity, for example, let's say someone is not kind. That means they don't carry the frequency of kindness in their template. They cannot embody it because they lack it. And that's actually what these mutations on this planet have caused, because in the past we could wonder, like, how could we all live in a society with no government, no money, and we were all loving each other? That's because we weren't mutated. And now, with these mutations in our templates, we need to clear them, because when these frequencies get reversed, because when we are talking about the virtues, attitudes, and responsibilities of spiritual mastery, they are referred to as the VARs in short. These are they are called the radiation sparks in the plasma body, because they spark, they keep flowing, they are not static, they keep moving. And when they get reversed, they actually become the reversals of these organic frequencies. I will give you an example, because I actually have a chart with these attitudes and responsibilities. So let me look into that. So for example, when the frequency of grace gets reversed, it turns into hatred. Because you're not grateful, so you hate. If the love gets reversed, it actually turns into sloth. Sloth. It's like the when basically you could describe it this way, that you don't want to feel anything for anyone. You're just like, I don't care. It's like the laziness to some degree as well. Also mindfulness. This is also one of the virtues. It's actually turning into judgmentalism. So, and also someone just said that plasma body is the torus. No, it's not the torus. Actually, torus is indicating a closed universe, because the torus is this shape. So if you see the energy flows, they keep going like this. So this is a closed universe. Our plasma bodies, they are open. They are creating a fractal structure.
The word victimhood is coming into my aura at the moment. So
the victim.
Because if you are in that victim mode, like no one loves me, appreciates me, rewards me, or gets the attention, no one's listening to me, whatever. So they feel hurt, they feel abandoned, they feel a feeling of they're not really connecting. But really, ultimately, you need to be connecting with yourself and not needing, because some people need validation. They want validation. They want someone to say, yes, you are great. Yes, you're doing a wonderful job. Yes, you're saving humanity from falling off.
But validation is coming from the lack of self-love. Because if you love yourself, you don't need the validation. You're aware that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
100%. And people often fall into this called victim-victimizer game. This is basically not taking responsibility for misuse of your personal energies, where you try to reverse the situation. You did something wrong, but you blame it on someone else. So these individuals who do that, they basically give away their personal powers and responsibility for manifestation to external sources. And they are like, you are the guilty one. You are the one who's feeding off my energy. no responsibility and no looking at your own mistakes that you've done. So this is a really serious thing that is going on lately.
Yeah, for sure. And it's and the other one is, you know, the word guilt. People sometimes feel because they've allowed certain individuals to tarnish and to trespass into that sacred space of who they are, and their individuality has been hurt, you know. And but for me personally, that's part and parcel of how we evolve, because I don't see, I'm very grateful for all the things that had caused some kind of I wouldn't say harm, because I've allowed that to manipulate. I've empowered that in terms of, you know, when you let somebody in and you're not taking enough ownership and care and sensitivity and love towards self, people sometimes don't have their best interests, you know. But I the triggers that have come in, usually I would say, or 100%, not usually, they've been my teachers. They've been the ones that have strengthened. You know, when we talk about immunity, you become more accustomed, and you understand the patterns and how things flow. So yeah, no, that's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Yeah.
Indeed, pain is the biggest teacher. It's the best teacher because
What is, sorry?
pain.
Yeah.
Because pain, these difficult lessons that we are going through, they are supposed to teach us. They are supposed to make us realize that we cannot give our power away to someone. We need to respect our energetic fields. When sometimes we allow others, when we allow others to hurt us, that indicates a lack of love towards ourselves. So the biggest lesson that we need to learn, and also I've noticed that on a personal and collective level, is keeping the power to ourselves. If others starts to feed with our power, we have to say stop. You cannot do this anymore to me. So the frequency of forgiveness can indeed neutralize this negative energy, as someone just said in the comments. Forgiveness and acceptance, these are very, very high frequencies, because
You can
there are
forgive
these,
yourself as well, right?
yes,
Forgive yourself ultimately for allowing the level of trespass that consumes those certain implants, and just to let go in the most loving. Because I'm very grateful, and my foundation, I'm sure yours is as well, is thank you, and the gratitude is an extremely powerful one, and just being so much in the awe and ecstasy of the all-knowing, and visualization of this is paramount, right? It's
there is like a new word that has been created to call the virtue 13. Sorry, that's actually, I think, the responsibility. But anyways, it's called attitude. And this is gratitude in action.
right.
So this is the responsibility 13. This is a very high one. And this frequency is allowing us to actually do every single action with the gratitude towards the universe, that we can exist, that we can live. This is what we are experiencing when we are going into the stages of unconditional love. When we truly feel like a part of this universe, like it's indelible part of the whole existence. Because that's what we are aiming for. Reunion with the source. Because as for now, we kind of feel divided. We feel like, okay, well, I don't belong with this one, I don't belong with that one. But actually, we all do. We are all a part of the oneness. And this is also helping us with this personal healing, where we understand that even if we are not in the same on the same level with someone. They are on a different level of evolution, and that also requires the frequency of acceptance. So it's totally all right to take your own space from someone, to be like, okay, I need my space, we need to stop talking, whatever. But it's about this higher understanding that always on these higher levels, you know that this is not your enemy, this is just someone who is struggling.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful, Olivia. I mean, there is this moral compass as well, and one needs to be very, sensitive and empathetic, because one can sometimes lash out very, very quickly to. We're not here. We shouldn't really condemn anybody, but to hold space, and for people to come in so that they neutralize. What we're doing is creating a beautiful, like we are today, we're creating a beautiful harmonic energy where people come in and they can bring that. If you have any levels of toxicity, it's being alkaline, and but you're alkalining yourself, because you begin to see yourself for
Yes,
what you.
you alkaline yourself with the energy itself. It's
Where do you,
also. Mhm.
I was going to say, if I may quickly, I mean, because there's a lot of stuff out there with, and I'm not targeting anybody in particular. I mean, the word you, because a lot of people do, there are many modalities, and I mean, the people do all sorts of things. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of things like urine therapies and things like that, that people do, to connect more to the template, because there are things that you do as a vehicle to take you to self, and then when you get to that level of self-realization, you get that God energy, which encompasses everything. So that's, it's like the black and white. Everything is there's no such thing as good or bad, right? Because that's the conditioning that's been taking place for a very long time, and letting go of that requires some skill, doesn't it? Because, like I said, the temptation is always there, especially when someone has lost their loved ones to a virus or something, and the anger and is still in them, and people need to find a way to face stuff like that has traumatized. Um, for me, one of the biggest traumas is the separation of, your mother. How the distortions, the synthetic way of creating an atmosphere in which the, nothing was particularly. I mean, I'm sure there are people who did natural stuff, but majority on the planet didn't go through that kind of. Um, do you want to add a little bit of flavor to that, or do you want to move on to something?
Um,
Because we
Basically,
yeah,
you could use a lot of modalities. They could be natural, energetic modalities.
yeah,
Um, I would say that the natural modalities like a diet or whatever therapy you choose, it's helping with purifying the physical body, which allows for easier energy flows. I've done that, and it helped me transmute the energies better. But the energetic resources are more powerful, because after all, you don't have to go with this body. You can choose to go with your plasma body, which is divine. So you can always choose and go with a part of your consciousness. And in this way, always these energetic modalities are helping, because if some people are being born with serious disabilities, the best way for them is to take their plasma bodies. Like if someone is on a wheelchair, their plasma body could walk, and that is amazing. So So I do believe that the energetic modalities are always feeling the most powerful, while these natural ones, they are also important, yes, but they are like a supplement to your daily work with your own energy. And
That's right.
also our eternal self, it's all being guided. What I wanted to say before is we are all being guided by our eternal self, all of us. And this process is happening in our body. They are guided by the higher parts of ourselves. And if someone is facing depression, the PTSD, panic attacks, things like that, this is basically when our eternal identity is trying to overcome, clear, rebalance the state of disharmony that has happened in our body, either through some experience we had in this life or in previous lives. The light is always fighting against the darkness that we hold in ourselves, and that's what this healing process is about. It's always about finding the balance between those two, because the human being is connecting these two aspects of the light and the shadow.
Do you feel that there's a significant importance in, because my interpretation is the all symbiotic relationship, that you can't have one without the other, but to bring it into harmony, to bring it to that level of being centered, in saying, white is just as important as black, and just to bring it into natural order, as we, because we're doing a little bit of this, and then you get to that level where you're pretty much centered, and that's the best place to be. And in an ideal world, we shouldn't see not so nice things in others. We should treat people like god and goddesses, rather than saying, oh, that person's evil, because the conditioning and the stuff that, a lot of people still watch television and things like that, and so there's a lot of stuff out there which is kind of, I hate to use the word programming, but it does go on, I guess, right? People get programmed into doing things. But when
Go ahead. On a personal level, I could say that these struggles between the light and the dark, it's actually a lot a part of me being a healer, because technically I have to be surrounded by light, but people come to me and show me their darkness, and this is the darkness that I have to overcome. So over this time I have learned that it's okay to have worse days, because this is my eternal self trying to indicate, okay, where are these thoughts coming from? This is something that I must heal. And this is something from this and that life when you get to a certain level. So it's an incredible journey where you actually, where through helping others, I also help myself, because sometimes someone will say a sentence and I'm like, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. And that's what we can also experience in our daily lives, that if we interact with other people, they are like our mirror reflections. So sometimes something what they will say, it will trigger an incredible amount of energy release in our bodies. I have this one person that I'm working with, a lovely soul. I'm sure that she's watching this, or she's gonna watch it on replay, so she knows who she is. She's releasing actually the frequencies through the coughing. Whenever I'm doing a clearing on her, it's like she's releasing this incredibly from her solar plexus. And when I mentioned one thing about us actually transfiguring into 2027, it triggered an incredible amount of frequency releasing from her body, because it's like her cells realized that I'm not stuck in this body, I can get out. And that was an incredible experience, where I said this one thing and she couldn't stop that coughing thing, because she actually, on a very high level, because I was connected to her field already, and I got that message that it's like her subconscious finally realized that there is a way out of this time matrix, because many of us have been incarnating here multiple times, and we have started to feel like we will never get out of here. So, well, that's not the thing anymore.
Yeah, and the objective is to activate the plasma bodies. There constantly, but the connection of union, so that you, and then I suppose one then doesn't need to go through the death process, because there's a wonderful chap that I've been sort of connecting with. I don't know whether you've had the privilege of uh, seeing some of our podcasts. His name is Rob, and today he's come out with some questions for us, because he's actually forecasting a particular event for next year, and he's actually calling it the plasma event. But the way I'm seeing it, I mean, is the level of consciousness is changing, and the way how we interpret with the word death, what is the end? So the end of something doesn't need to be associated with it being morbid, because the powers that were, they did a fantastic job in creating that fear. You see cemeteries, you see coffins, and you see all these,
It's a programming since childhood, right?
Yeah. So I get that, and people have been lashing out to Rob a lot, and I came along with the bioactivator, and we're witnessing a different stance. But for me, I don't see death as anything morbid. It's a transition. It's like what you talked about when opening a certain stargate, or so do you want to add a bit of flavor
The
to that?
frequency of death itself, it's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen quite a lot of people alive on this world who are
Mm.
already connected to the egregor of death, to the
Yeah.
collective consciousness of death that we have all created. But it's something that we need to get rid of. That, okay, even if I pass away, I'm not going to call it death. I'm going to call it a transition.
Yes.
And yes, some people are going to die. Okay, this is a part of what it is right now. And we need to also accept that some of us have chosen this already.
Right, it's in your script.
But it doesn't mean that it's going to happen to everyone. And causing that frequency of fear that, oh my gosh, there will be so many people dying, will face a really big disaster. That's affecting the collective consciousness, because we are giving our energy away to that frequency of fear, to being like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen to me and my family?
Yeah.
While actually not really thinking, how can I not make it happen?
Yeah. But where do you stand with the word Mother Earth? Do you feel that she's going through a death cycle herself? Death not being the end, death meaning that if it's a book and it has chapters in it, so you're going into the next chapter, where it's a process, and you said so yourself, in terms of the seeding of humanity. But what about Mother Earth? Do you not feel that Mother Earth is also evolving? I mean, if we look at a picture of what Mother Earth looked like millions and millions of years ago, she's been expanding, I guess. She's also growing, and that's why the continents break, I guess, for a scientific way of looking at it. But do you feel? I mean, can anyone entertain the thought of what Rob is saying regarding the end time? Because he's people have lashed out onto him, rightly or wrongly. They have said no, because Rob is putting like a specific date, like
Okay,
Halloween.
let me stop you right here, if I may,
Please do.
because it's not my thing to talk about any other people. To
Yeah.
be honest, Like my face expression changed a little bit when you started to talk about Earth having its death cycle.
Yes. Yes.
That was a really, my reactions change depending on the frequency someone is carrying. When they mention different things, I pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
That was dark. I'm sorry, but I have to say that to everyone that is watching. It felt very, very dark for me, and it started to put my body on totally different frequency. So
But you can, I take it, you
deep breath. And what I want to say, that it's actually coming back to what we talked in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That thanks to the Crystal River fail-safe host that allows us for this planet to basically go into the transition in next 900 years, Earth is not going to die.
Okay.
Only thanks to that. Because we had the Metatronic seed atom activated. We had something called the Thea seed activated in this planet as well in the core. But that triggered the activation of something called the Nomi seed. And the Nomi seed is actually something related to the fact that we can. It's also a transfiguration factor, but it's much more than that. This is the coding of the eternal creation. Because this host, it's happening through the eternal creation spectra. And I have written lately a post on my Facebook about the Trantian window and the Jura Lake Conservatory. This window is called the window of the first and the last passage. Right now, opening this window is going to allow us to make our final way through to the source, you could say.
Yeah.
But non-opening this window, activation of the Nomi seed, that would never happen if this planet was supposed to die. This planet is not going to die. Other parts of this planet, because it's like we need to look at this planet in from the multidimensional spectra, that it's called Earth on 3D. In 5D it is Tara. In 7, 8D it's called Gaia. And 12D it's Aramatena. Okay?
Yeah.
So Tara, Gaia, and Aramatena, they all fell. Nothing out of it. But Earth is actually being hosted to the deity plane. So it is being connected, you could say, with its divine part, which is like, you could say, its plasma body. Earth is also activating a plasma body. And this is going to allow Earth to transfigure. The Earth has chosen something called the path of Trua. And the path of Trua is the path of transfiguration. So Earth is going to transfigure into its divine blueprint. It will be the Urea Earth. And it's not going to die. It's going to make a process of transition. But it's not going to happen through any kind of a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
That's what my stand on it is.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm happy not to take any more questions from Rob if it's creating. I'm not here to.
No, not at all. It's just like when you mentioned that
Because
having a death cycle.
Because death is
just,
according to Rob, death is its rebirth as well. Well, this is the kind of what he put out there. And forgive, I'm just sharing.
Yes. I absolutely respect some other people's opinions. It's just normally our planet is eternal, and now this host is supposed to prevent Earth from dying, because that's what started happening to our sun in 2007. It started to go into the Bardo process, which is the death process. And in order to prevent that from happening to Earth, they activated the union flows, they activated different cathedrals, more stargates, in order to allow the plasma flows to go into this planet. And that's why we are activating ourselves, and that's why we are embodying the virtues now, because they actually correspond to the plasma frequencies, to the plasma flows that come. So we might be feeling more of this unconditional love, more of this infinite feelings, kindness, grace, feeling of love towards every single human, animal, or plant, because this is all interconnected. All these frequencies that basically are called the crystal bridge frequencies, they are supposed to prevent Earth from falling.
Okay.
And this planet is not going to fall. And it's not going to die either, because if it dies, we will all die along with it. But it's not going to happen. The Guardians made sure about it.
Yeah, no, that's reassuring to know. What can we say to people, and I've been a victim of this myself a little bit, like within the community that we regard within the spiritual community. I don't mean the mainstream news. You feel that they have good intentions. They could have been misguided in terms of, I'm going to use the word money at the moment because it's a very powerful means of exchange. I mean, I do not worship money. I do respect money. But there is a huge, huge talk at the moment regarding a particular month. And like a lot of people saying September, there's going to be a bit of a cash flow situation whereby you may go to the ATM machines and you want to draw money and you might not be able to draw your money. And how important is money? I mean, if you don't have it, I mean, some people have a lot of it and some people don't have enough of it. What should people be doing more now with their money, would you say, in terms of if they've got extra bit of money and they're not sure what to do with their money? What do you feel people should really invest in?
So I think that cash is king, and in land, because if there will be indeed times where, like, I don't think that there will be like the world hunger, but if the prices of the food go too expensive, which might happen, or even considering that the government is taking over the lands, which is happening in Netherlands, that they completely want to take over the lands owned by the farmers and then modify the food, then it's good to have a piece of our land. This is a good investment, your own land, because you will never know when it turns out to be useful. But collecting money in cash and in gold. But Bitcoin and all of that, personally, this is something that doesn't sit with me. Because where our society is heading to, considering that transition, we won't need money. It will start with the barter and then basically like the free exchange, because everything in the higher dimensions, everything is provided. You know how it works. I was there, and one of the significant experiences I've had was that I walk and I see like these huge apple trees, but the apples are like this. They are massive.
Oh, yeah.
You could barely hold them in your hands. They are heavier than watermelons in this dimension. And it's like they are massive because they are organic. The plants there are eternal. And you come and you don't even pick it up from the tree. The tree is giving you when you ask for it mentally, because the tree knows how much you need and which fruit resonates the most with your frequency.
Wow.
So this is where we are heading to. So money is needed right now with the current system, but it's not much of a concern, I would say.
Right.
Many people have bought houses away from the civilization, where they are basically growing their own foods and discovering themselves. And this is what many people, spiritual people, wanting to, already kind of settle in and, just enjoy their last moments in this dimension. That's what they are doing. And I think that's the right path to follow.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, Olivia. I mean, we've just come into the hour and a half. Doesn't time flow, when you're having fun. Did you want to add a bit more to this beautiful conversation? Do you want to throw a few more
Oh,
virtues?
we already said a lot. What my guardians are suggesting me that maybe at the end, since the words are powerful, I'm going to read all the virtues, the attitudes, and the responsibilities of spiritual integrity. Maybe I will start with the virtues. Okay, so the first one is effective action, love, integrity, eternal nature, community, prosperity, because prosperity is like in terms of being rich, you're rich with your own energy, not like the richness outside. Communication, creative power, connection, intimacy, passion, freedom, enlightenment, bravery, and strength. So these are really beautiful words, even when you just read them in English, because even though English got distorted, it's still holding a part of the frequencies, especially when you're reading certain words, I feel. And maybe I will go into the attitudes. So it's also love, then grace, gratitude, respect, responsibility, trust, accountability, impeccability, mindfulness, fearlessness, engaged detachment, joy, authenticity, honesty, and the attitude. This is actually the 15th attitude of the spiritual mastery. Attitude, which is the gratitude in action, gratitude in every single thing that we are doing. And each one of those could be reversed to something completely the opposite, as I said before. But right now we are heading towards the alignment of this. We want to basically integrate and we want to connect with our body, which is this is called the Cosmea body. The body which is like, it's corresponding to the cosmoversal structure. This is a beautiful configuration. And that's where we are heading, to be connected to each one of these chakra lotuses, which represent a different aspects of ourselves. So I just wanted to finish with showing this code because I felt guided to show it.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, that's very, very empowering, and yeah, it's been great being in your beautiful company, and looking forward to another session in the foreseeable future. No doubt we will bring more virtues and
definitely spreading the frequency around. And it's been lovely to be a guest at the Activator again. It's been lovely to share this space with you. I felt wonderful energies flowing, and I hope that other people felt that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Olivia, for being here, and appreciate your presence. And I'm just going to end it now on our farewell, and look forward to seeing you all again in the near future.
Likewise. Much love. Thank you for watching us.
Bioactivator would like to thank you for your kind support and donations. Through Bharat Tunyan's guardianship of this platform, his activation of truth harmonizes, neutralizes, and unblocks the meridians that connect, balance, and purify all that comes in contact. Do no harm is the key that fully opens the heart's voice to be in the union of the I Am presence, and will represent every living organism on the planet whose voice would otherwise not be heard. Remember, the truth will set you free. Do no harm, cause no loss, and do not impose upon the freedom of others. Love, light, and